I'm back. Okay, I finished gluing all the pockets together, and you have, oops, this one kind of stuck a little bit, an accordion, like the file folders, the accordion style. Now, what you want to do, you don't have to worry about a back. So what you want to do is, now, I'm just going to use scrapbook paper, but you can use your cardstock or whatever you want. Like on this one here, I used cardstock and then a decorative edge and drew a vine. But today, all I'm going to do is just, I'm going to use the same paper as I used on the outside, and to make a bottom. And you can leave an overhang and you can trim it off. But what you want to do is you want to glue, but on the bottom you want to make sure that you, when you wrap it around to the back side, that you have, like you have two creases, one here and one here, so it can expand a little bit at the bottom, but it doesn't expand, you know, that much. Okay, so let me go ahead and glue this on. I like to leave it in place, and then I like to put my glue all on the bottom of my bone folder, and just a little bit on the top where it's going to go, and slide it down in. Let me trim it when I'm done. Slide it down in and press firmly, and then I flip it over, push it down in, and get some more glue, and do the back side of it, and fold it, press it. Make sure you use the bone folder, and there you have it. Take your pair of scissors and just very carefully trim off. Oops. Let's open this back up. Glue stuff on it. There we go. One side, and we trim the other side, and there we have it. Now this is our accordion pocket. Now what you, bottom piece. Now what you want to do, you don't have to worry about a back piece. You can cut a piece and put on here if you wish to, but you really don't have to, because the back here will, you know, be the last pocket, last page. So now what you want to do, let me move this out of the way. My paper is sliding all over. Now what you want to do is, you don't want it to be where it's going to interfere with opening and closing of the book. So you want to make sure that, and then also you don't want it to be up here, because this is where you're going to put your brad for your closure. So, okay, so I think I'm going to put it about right there. Now what you want to do is, you will glue like, oh, maybe halfway on the side, and you put, now this one you do put glue all on the tab, because you want to make sure that it is adhered to your book. So let me go ahead and do that. Make sure you get a good coverage, and then you put on the back side here. I don't know if you can see it from that camera shot. Then you just position it where you would like for it to be. Kind of like mine now, about, because here's my crease, and I don't want it to interfere with opening and closing, so I think I'm going to put it right there. Once you get it to where you would like for it to be, let me see, closing on my book, okay, and then you just press really, 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 really firmly. And I think this is where the red tape, the double-sided tape, will come in handy, and it would really, really hold this, because you are going to be opening your pocket, see, like this one didn't here. It's going to have to, you really dry for it to be. But then your pockets will open up, and you have pockets to put your recipe cards, note cards, coupons, whatever you want to use this for. But there is that. Now let me do with the other notepad. And you stick your, get the notepad in here now. Put your notepad in and slide it into place there, and basically your inside of your book is done. Now let's work on the closure. Now what I have done was on this one, because this is 7, this is 5 by 7, so I went halfway. Half of 7 is 3.5. So I measured down 3.5. I poked a hole for my brad to go through, and I put my elastic right here through, and then my brad holds the elastic in place. So let me show you how we do that. And I always like putting my pockets on the left side. I don't know why. I just do, because I write right-handed. So, what I do now is I take my ruler, and I just use a craft needle and a foam block to poke my hole for my brad. And what I have done to make, for the elastic to, you know, give it, instead of it being white, what I done was I took my homemade Glamour Mist, and which is just acrylic paint with some rubbing alcohol, mixed it together, shook it up, sprayed it, saturated my elastic, and then I let it dry, used a heat gun, let it dry, and ready to go. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that it is folded exactly in half and pinned. So let's go ahead, fold this in half, because I found that it's much easier if you do fold it in half and stick the pen through both instead of trying to fight to get it. Decide what side that you like the best. I think I'm going to do it this way. Measure down. Let me take my pen out. Put my block in so I can make sure it goes through. And what I do is measure down. This is 7. So here is 3. And here is 3.5. Well, let me turn it this way so it'll be easier so I can get my pen and mark it. So let's go here. And you also, ladies, I should mention that you want to be careful. You note how much room you do have between your folders and your edge of your book, because you don't want to be poking through your folders. So let's measure down 3, and here's the half. So right here, But you can hold it up and look to make sure where it's going to go. It's going to go just fine. So what you want to do is poke firmly and wiggle it around to make sure that it does go through. See, it went through. So, and that takes care of that. You have that. Now you take your elastic, and this is the hard part, ladies. Trying to get this through in the middle and where it's going to stay to put your brad through. So what I do is I put my brad through, I poke it through, make sure you have it turned to where the legs are going to open up this way, and then you have to fish, as I said, call it, to find where you'll poke your hole in your elastic. Okay, I think I got it. If not, ladies, you get the idea of what to do here. Okay, that's through, and then I don't know if you can see if I'm off camera, kind of match it up, because you did match it, so it should go, straight through. I think it's gonna go, maybe not. Let me lay it down so I can see it a little bit better. Okay. Alright, both pieces are through. Let's turn them now. I should have turned it the other way, but that's okay. Pick up my needle. What I'm going to do is trim. And you can trim it. If it is too long, if you notice it's going to stick out over your folder, it's going to interfere with the opening and closing of your folder, you can trim it, which I think I'm going to have to trim it because it is going to interfere with opening and closing of my file folders. Or if you don't mind, you can just tack it in the back. Okay, so what you want to do is now open the legs of your brad so it will hold your elastic down, and there you have it. Here's your pockets right here, and like I said, you don't have to worry about putting the back on because your back of your book can be a pocket itself, the back of the pocket. There you go. That needs to be glued down a little bit more. You close your book, and then you just take your elastic and just wrap it around and make sure it is aligned. And there you can cover your little brad with your elastic, or you can have your slide it up just a little bit and your brad to be showing. It's up to you. And then you can further decorate it. You can put stickles on it, or you can put your glossy accent on it. You can, that's the word I want, a little label and put the name on it. You can do whatever you want. So I hope this video was informative for you on how to make this and was easy to follow along. And thank you, ladies, for watching, and I will show a picture at the end of the finished product when I finish decorating it. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you, ladies, for watching.